So look, the actual fight itself. Thought about it, picked it up, and it's on the surface. These are two really skilled strikers, right?
Yeah.
And it can really generally go on any way, right? Conor can win, Cerrone can win, but like this is what I've really picked up as the 4 keys that we need to look at to really see, how the fight plays itself, right?
Yeah.
And the first one is what version of Conor we'll see, right? So what I mean by that, Conor in his earlier fights in the UFC against Poirier, against Eddie Alvarez, his first initial engagements, as I say, really determine what sort of mood he's in. And what I mean by that is, in Eddie Alvarez, when he won the lightweight fight, he was very loose. So a striker needs to be fluidly loose, right? So he does that, these ones, as I call it, the paw, to establish like the distance. It's equivalent to a jab for him, right?
Yeah.
So how loose he is will really determine, like, and you got to understand, he's coming back from 2 years, circa 2 years.
That's going to play a big part.
I don't care if you're training every fucking day. It's very different to be in an actual fighting game. Right?
That's not like it matters how good his sparring is. Sparring, basically.
I agree. I agree.
Is it as intense as a fight would be? Because that's where a lot of fighters fail, aren't they?
Sparring is not meant to be like. There are 2 schools of thought in training as a whole. One is iron sharpens iron, and you should just fucking let me at it. Let's go. Put the gloves on and let's go at 90%. But the new school is that's stupid because it's not a video game and injuries actually occur
in sparring.
In sparring. So really, what you want to do in sparring is you probably want to arrange sparring in a way where you have those intense moments, but those are very few and far between.
Yeah.
What you want, and Conor as a fighter, he's always said that precision beats power. So his modus operandi is picking you apart.
Yeah.
So he's a counter striker, but a counter striker that also engages to get the counter strike. That makes sense. So in the case of Aldo, it was dramatic because he came at him and he just popped him. Yeah. It wasn't even a big thing, right?
Yeah, that doesn't take much strategy.
Well, the strategy was actually the mental games that he played before, because
that was the strategy. That's what I'm talking about. The mental game.
That's 3D. That's really 3D, right? Yeah. Look, homeboy is really focused, right?
Yeah.
High stakes. Yeah. Ain't no time for bullshit. The stakes are there. So I do expect him to come in really bouncy. Establishing that paw, establishing the jab, throwing those feints, and that to me will really tell the tale of the tape, because when he's at his best, he's very what's the word? He finds that distance very quickly. And,
and like he usually gets the dominating position in that.
Exactly, and
he gets that early as well.
Interestingly enough. His damage is actually done at a lot of close quarters, and I know like that. What I mean by that is Jose Aldo come in, boom, Eddie Alvarez just in the pocket. He's actually a very in the pocket counter puncher. So that engagement needs to happen, but to set all that up is all that distance management. And you see these looping left and looping right. So I think that's really going to be important, like what version of it.
Yeah, definitely.
And built on that is the energy management, because the knock on Conor is his cardio is
shit, right? Basically. Yeah.
Is this a 3-round fight, 5-round fight?
This, I'm not sure. I think it is you'd think it'd be a 3-round fight, right?
That's main events.
Main events usually a 5 though.
Yeah, I think yeah. Yes, 2, 4, 6 main event. It's got to be a 5-round fight. Yeah, it's got to be a 5-round fight.
Yeah, I don't think they could. I don't think they could do 3 rounds for the main event.
5 rounds.
It's a 5
all the main events are 5 rounds.
Yep.
Should have known that, but yeah, basically the longer it goes, the more it favors Cerrone.
That's the thing, yeah.
So he wants to be in a dogfight.
But it has been 2 years since we've seen Conor. His cardio might have gone up a lot, but the way that the human body works, the older you get, it's tougher to get that cardio on that level.
100%. And the thing about cardio is, the thing with fighting is, you can have the best trainers, and this is where the best fighters are able to implement it's very hard to make adjustments to a game plan on the fly.
Yeah,
if they
true.
kind of make sense.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I've hurt you, my initial reaction will be to come for the kill.
Yeah, that's right.
And no matter how much, if my corner says slow down, don't expend your energy, there's a fight or flight mechanism that overrides that.
Yeah,
right.
that's
So
right.
similarly, if he's used to fighting, and the energy management element is he, by all accounts, throws a lot of things in his strikes, right?
Yeah.
So Nate Diaz, pow, 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 60%, 60%,
Yeah.
55, 45. Where Conor is like, it's gonna be 98. It'll happen less,
Yeah.
but like that's why he hits really hard, right? With that
Yeah.
left, right? So it's really about managing that energy and seeing how it is, because he's a fast starter, Cerrone's
Yeah.
a slow starter.
Yeah.
So they're on opposite ends of the spectrum there, right?
Yeah.
So really, how quickly or how well he can manage his energy, it is really going to be telling a tale. Because in the second,
Yeah, what we've seen in a lot of Conor fights recently is he just tries to go for the kill in the first couple of rounds.
Well, absolutely,
because he knows his cardio shit.
Yeah.
So he just tries to go for the strike.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe this one it is going to go to 5 rounds, and he better prepare for that. I hope he has prepared for that.
who knows? Like
Yeah.
in the end of the day, they're both scrappers, and yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
So the energy levels are going to be really important. I think specifically for Conor, just because the knock on him is his cardio is not good.
So if we look at the tail of the tape,
Yeah.
do we see any advantages there in terms of?
Surprisingly not. Their heights are similar. 5'9" for McGregor, 6'1" for Cerrone. The reaches are the same. So this is the interesting thing, right? So, Cerrone is a natural welterweight in that he's fought the majority of his fights there, right?
Yeah.
So how the weight stuff works is they get weighed a day prior to the fight, and then you can go nuts. Like you can keep eating, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So what it means is if you're fighting in a weight class that's not natural there, you're actually starving your body, because the quickest way to lose weight is water.
Yes, that's
Dehydrating
right.
yourself, right? Because a decent chunk of your weight is water weight, right? So that's why it makes sense to fight in your weight class. So the thing about that is the reaches and stuff are actually quite similar, which really surprises me, because Cowboy looks the bigger guy.
Yeah. The thing I'm looking at right now is sort of standing out is the age difference there. Cerrone at 36.
Yeah.
And Conor at 31, is that going to make any difference? You think? I believe with the older you get, the reflexes start to get slower.
That's fair.
The hand-eye coordination is a bit slower.
He's definitely got more tires on the tread, but I'll give you a different sort of perspective.
Yep.
In that fighting in any element and striking is like muscle memory, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So in the sense that Cerrone has been the more active fighter. I can't even count how many. He's the most active fighter in the UFC, right? It's a company man.
Yes.
So
true.
what I mean is,
that's why his record's got 36.
correct.
13.
He's simply had more bites of the pie. Look, if you total that, he's fought like close to 50 times versus 25 in the UFC alone, right?
Yep.
So sorry, that would be his totality of things. But I guess what I'm saying is, there's the element of having a lot more kilometers on the car, which is Cerrone, like a lot more battle scars.
Yeah, as you said, you need to have, like, if Conor's come after 2 years, there is rust.
Yeah.
So,
and then there's the other element of rhythm, right?
Yes.
So punching, slipping, and ripping is rhythm, and we saw this with Whittaker versus Adesanya.
Yeah.
So in the first round of Whittaker versus Adesanya, the stats told that they landed the same amount of punches.
Yeah.
But if you were just watching that, you'd say, "Fuck, man, like Whittaker's missing a lot."
Yeah.
So basically, they threw the same amount of punches, but as a percentage, his strikes were piss weak. He was missing a lot. He was swinging. And what's that? That's
ring rust.
That's ring rust, and that's just timing.
Timing, yeah.
It's like cricket.
That's why
everything is timing.
Everything is timing, and everything in cricket. Obviously, if you don't play for a while, you're getting back.
It's rust.
It takes a while. It's rust.
It takes a while.
Conor will have that rust 2 years out of the UFC.
You'd think he'd have that rust, but in the other way, Cerrone is all guns go. He's just fought a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
So those things kind of balance themselves out.
Yeah.
And in the energy management, I think what's really interesting is weight.
Okay.
And why weight is interesting is Cerrone has a bigger frame. So I don't know how many more kilograms heavier he will be when he goes out.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, it's the same as if you add, if you play a sport and you add a couple more kilos, and that sport requires you to run in that, you'll feel it. It's different. It's a different dissipation of thing. It means that. So when Cerrone and Conor rather had their little interchange in a press conference earlier back in the day, and that's the history that Conor keeps mentioning.
Oh, so they have a history.
Mate, history is a very loose way of saying it. They verbally sparred, in a press conference that had like freaking 7 to 8 people, right? So
okay.
What Conor said is like, because he was a featherweight then, right?
Yeah.
He's like, you lightweights are too slow. So what he's referencing is the lower weight classes. It's all action.
Yeah.
The smaller they're lighter, they can punch, right? But the lightweights are probably the middle of that, if that kind of makes sense. So he was hinting of a speed advantage that he'll have.
Yeah.
So they're now equalized in weight. He doesn't necessarily have that speed advantage, right? And it's more that if you're used to fighting, he's actually used to fighting 2 weight classes lower. His initial weight class is 145 versus 177. So this is where he started off. Yeah, it's a noticeable difference. And if you start off fighting here, your energy dissipation and like how you throw is different.
It's different.
Or more importantly, power is different at this range. So what is powerful here is not necessarily powerful there.
No.
But you've got to layer it, and now here's the same thing. So that's why this energy management, it encompasses not only cardio, it encompasses how he... and his first fight against Nate was at 177.
Oh, okay. That was the first time he actually went up.
And that's the one where he himself noted, I threw too hard in my punches.
Yeah.
So energy management is a real thing. True. And
he struggled with that before. We even go back to the Floyd fight. I'd say that the energy management there was not great, but that was basically it.
Well, Floyd is
a celebrity fight. It wasn't really.
Yeah, it was an exhibition, but it's a new sport.
Yeah, it was a new sport for us.
New sport. Yeah. So energy management will definitely be interesting. The third thing, mate, that I've noticed that I think is going to be really important is how much variation in the attack for both fighters, and I think specifically Cowboy. And the reason I say that is both of these guys want to stand and bang, right?
Yeah.
If you're interested in winning this fight, you do everything to stack your cards in the deck that'll allow you to win, right?
Yeah.
So we know that Conor's strength is stand-up.
Yeah.
We know that, you could say the same thing for Cerrone, that his strength is stand-up. But his stand-up is arguably not as good as Conor's. Right?
Agreed.
Arguably,
true.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you're Cowboy, you want to take him to the ground. You saw how much success Khabib had. And not saying that that's easy. Actually, it's not that easy. I went back and saw the Alvarez fight, and Alvarez actually tried to engage. You can't... Khabib is like... He hasn't been defeated, so he's like otherworldly,
Yeah, otherworldly in terms of wrestling. What I mean is, the wrestling side of it,
If you're a striker and you wrestle, you need to engage him here before you... you just can't simply take him down. It's not
You have to be really...
You got to chain it.
You got to chain wrestle it, but you have to be really talented in that wrestling.
Absolutely.
You can't just start out with takedowns.
Correct.
It's not gonna work.
But what I see really, if Cowboy is to win it, is he needs variation in his attack than simply standing and banging.
He just can't try striking.
He can't stand and bang. Like the thing is, Conor is a more polished striker, right? Yeah. So if they go in the pocket, it's going to favor Conor because he's going to have these short hits, and arguably his twitch is better, right? He's going to win those exchanges,
Definitely.
Right? That's not to say that Cerrone has a bad chin. Like he'll probably take a bit, but like it's not a video game, mate. Like there's only a couple of times that you can keep taking that.
Video game right here. Game over.
Game over, mate. It's over. But mate, like I guess what I'm saying is, if I'm Cerrone, even if your intention is not to take him on the ground, because Cerrone's a black belt, man. He ain't no chump. Brother's good on the ground. Yeah. If he said in every interview, whether this is like just an absolute smokescreen is another thing, he said that he doesn't want to take him to the ground. Like he prefers...
Cowboy said it?
Cowboy said it, right? So it could be a smokescreen. It could be
mind games.
But I actually...
that's more...
It could be.
To me, everything is mind game.
It could be. But like, history repeats itself, right?
Yeah.
You only have to look at all of Cerrone's fights to know that, like, generally, this guy loves standing and banging. He loves entertaining the crowd. He is literally like the people's champ. I'm not even joking. Like, everyone wants to see two guys just
striking
it.
Yeah,
right?
that's
so he wants to provide
the casuals want to see that.
He definitely wants to provide that, and he wants to win in that manner.
Yeah,
and he doesn't engage the grappling, right, or the takedowns. But to me, if he wants to win it, he needs to provide variety.
Yeah,
he needs to give a different look, because if it's going to be a straight stand-up engagement, you would say that the tools that Conor have. How good is that Proper 12?
Shout out Proper 12.
Shout out to Proper 12. It's really important. So if I'm Cerrone's coach, this is what I'm telling him.
Yeah.
Go in, shoot a takedown straight away. Wait, don't go all Ben Askren and get fucking baptized. No, that's not what I'm saying. But give the variation to show it. Show the level change. And I'll tell you why. So as to the first point, what version of Conor we'll see?
Yeah. So this is where I disagree.
All right, here we go.
This is where I think Cerrone, Cowboy needs to take the fight at least into the third round.
Yeah.
Then do something like that. Then go at him. Maybe even straight away in the third round.
Yeah.
Go at him with the tackle. I think he needs to take it at least to the third round.
Why?
I just think Conor, the cardio is not there after 2 years of ring rust.
Yeah.
He's gonna fail after 2 rounds.
That's definitely makes sense if the actual outcome is to take him down and ground and pound him.
Yeah.
So my thing is, this takedown is not to complete the takedown. It's to say straight off the bat
that you can take.
You need to think about this. Yeah. You know what I mean?
He probably is still thinking about the takedown stuff from Khabib.
If you do that as your first call of action,
it sends a message.
You'll absolutely be bamboozled.
Sends a message.
And the important point is, all you got to do is see how worried he was with Khabib versus any other fighters, because the comfort level is Conor goes in thinking that this is a striking match. He can bounce around like fucking like he can go on Muhammad Ali because he is not worried about the takedown. No. You throw that as your first wrinkle.
It changes it up.
You don't have to complete it. No. You just have to show him, mate.
The threat is
there.
You
need to exactly. And if that's the first thing you do, it's paradigm shift, right? Yeah. You come in, you start engaging.
Because then he's going to start thinking shit.
Correct.
Then you're playing the mind games as well. Like,
absolutely.
Being like, oh, dude,
and that's the fighting.
I struggled against the takedowns with Khabib.
Yeah. I don't want to get taken down.
I don't want to get taken down here.
I don't want to get taken down by Khabib or anybody for that fact of a matter. So that's why I think
that's a good strategy. I agree with you.
And really, what he needs to mix up, I think, what's really underrated is, like Taylor the Tape says that they're very similar.
Yeah.
Clinch, Muay Thai. He needs to make it a very ugly game. So he needs to hug the guy, get him against the thing, definitely. Just make it really choke him. Like what did Khabib just choked the will out of him? It was like.
Just bear hugged him for like 3.
Well, no. Remember that overhand right that he did?
Yes.
The only reason that he did that overhand right, because Khabib doesn't strike, man.
No.
Like that's a fucking Look, the only reason he did it was because of the threat of the takedown. Conor said it himself. Yeah. Like he was so obsessed over not getting taken down. Yeah. That like he put his hands down and he got conked. He definitely wasn't expecting that.
No,
so the variation in the attack will be really important, because if you're gonna go straight up 1-to-1, like the odds are he'd probably lose. Cowboy probably lose.
Yeah, most likely.
Mate, and the last one is will the weight implications have any implications? Basically, will the weight implications?
So what was Conor's weight in the Khabib fight again?
They fought at lightweight.
Lightweight. So he would have been around the
155.
155.
Yeah.
So he's put on an extra 22 for this.
Correct. Pounds. So what I mean is it goes back to that energy management.
That's the thing.
Anticipation, right?
Like, can Conor adjust to that weight in a fight?
Yeah. I mean, well, he can, because he's fought it with Nate.
Yes.
He's fought it with Nate.
But when your loss was at 155, your recent loss.
Yeah.
And then you go up in that, you sort of feel a little bit slower.
Yeah.
So is that going to play a part in this mentally? Basically, I'm trying to see where mentally Conor is. Will that play a part in that? Do you feel like you're slower? Does he feel like he's good? That's the thing. It's all going to go down to the energy management and the cardio. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, let's go through this point. So what version of Conor we'll see, that's highly dependent on him, right? So we know that it's a stand-up fight. Yeah. So arguably, he'd go in with a comfort level and to be able to do those fancy things to establish the distance management and arguably throw that. So, but then that's dependent upon what sort of variation he receives from Cerrone early on, right?
Yeah.
Cerrone shoots for a takedown and he doesn't get baptized like Askren did. Then maybe he's showing them a different look. Cerrone holds him in the clinch and gives him very different look. These are things that like a lot of UFC fighters don't really see.
No.
And really the energy. Like Conor's a fast starter. Like Cerrone's a slower starter.
Yeah.
Like is Cerrone going to adjust? Is history going to play itself? And if so, does that mean that, how will they both react to it? I think it's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, actually. So I'm pretty hyped about
It'll be a good fight.
Just I just want to see where Conor's at mentally, and he seemed mentally. He looks like he's focused.
He's focused. Focus is definitely the word.
But
that's what it's imparting.
The thing with Conor, I don't know whether this is a character or if he actually is. So he looks like he is focused.
He can be a focused character. you don't have to be like the same kumquat.
I just think Conor's playing. He knows how to promote a fight.
He's playing games.
Yeah, he's playing the game.
Nigga be playing games.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.